Welcome back. Once viewed as an oasis of calm and picturesque views, the VG Beach is morphing into a place of degradation due to human and animal behaviors. Officials say the impact of stray dogs and human activity has to be addressed. VG vendors and beachgoers have made reports to the Department of Fisheries regarding the presence of stray dogs on the beach. Information and Communications Officer within the Department of Fisheries, Yvonne Edwin, says what may not seem like a big problem to some is in fact a major threat to the ecosystem in such areas. The presence of stray dogs on the beach is a threat to turtles.
After visiting the VG Beach this morning, I can confirm that there are several turtle nests that are on the beach within the airport area. There are several nests. As we know, this is the nesting period. But the reports that we got is that the dogs are interfering with those nests. Again, as a result of turtles coming up to lay, the dogs have been interfering with baby or hatchlings that are returning to sea, and it is of concern to the department. We will, within our internal procedures, attempt to address the situation, but again, we urge residents in the area or persons who continue to release their stray animals along the beach, the impact it has on the turtle population, and we appeal to those persons to not allow their animals to stray, keep them within their yards or within their residence, and do not allow them to stray on the beach. It has impact on the turtle population, as well as this is a vending area. This is an area frequented by a lot of visitors, and we would not want the wrong impression sent out there.
The International Union for Conservation of Nature maintains a list of animals whose numbers dogs are culling. There are 191, and more than half are classified as either endangered or vulnerable. They range from iguanas to doves, a diversity of animals with nothing in common beyond the fact that dogs enjoy killing them. But dogs are not the only threat to the beach. His master, man, is polluting the beach.
We have also noticed after events on a weekend, the beach has so much debris, so much garbage being left behind by persons who continue to frequent the beach and have several activities on a weekend. They continue to leave their garbage behind. As a department, we make an appeal to those persons who plan those events, promoters of those events. They need to find better ways of managing their waste and to remove any plastic bottles, styrofoam, or any garbage or debris that they have after those events.
Volunteer and community groups seek to address such issues with periodic beach cleanups, but what is truly needed to address this matter is a change in mindset and behavior by the population to respect and protect the environment and keep it clean. Carifesta 14 got off to a festive start on Friday, the 23rd of August in Port of Spain, Trinidad. Participants from more than 20 countries around the region and beyond paraded almost halfway around the Queen's Park Savannah, deemed the largest roundabout in the world. The contingent from Fair Helen was also present to leave the island's unique mark on the proceedings.
St. Lucia joined delegates from countries within the region in the parade, numbering around 80, with fashion designer Christina Samuel being the flag bearer. The St. Lucian delegation included cast members of the theatrical productions A Little Folk Tale, Belelesh, and Silent Scars, poets, writers, band members, art and craft vendors, and the media. During the opening ceremony, Trinidad and Tobago's Minister for Community Development, Culture and the Arts, Dr. Nyan Gadsby Dolly, welcomed delegates and patrons who filled the Queen's Park Stadium. She told them that the Twin Island Republic's preparation to host this year's event was done feverishly to elevate the region's foremost cultural festival that celebrates the arts.
We have all worked feverishly to further elevate this regional cultural celebration. Strategically positioning our cultural identities into a 10-day festival became a Herculean task. Relative to the rest of the world, we are a small territory with larger-than-life cultural legacies. Our voices, shared memories, fiery spirits, and artistic wonders are all unmatched.
Dr. Gadsby Dawley also noted that CariFesta serves as a vehicle to foster greater cohesion within the region.
Since its inception in 1972, CariFesta has maintained its status as one of the region's most successful models for cultural integration. It is a biennial exercise in self-rediscovery for the Caribbean people, while sensitizing global audiences about the Caribbean's cultural DNA.
Meanwhile, Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, thanked the CARICOM Secretariat and all other agencies and individuals for their support towards making Trinidad and Tobago's fourth hosting of the festival a reality. He noted that the festival is essential in validating the need for one people, one space.
It's the showcase of our food, our dance, our song, our artists, our intellect, and our indomitable Caribbean spirit. But there's a tinge of sadness that we could only note and move on for the moment, and that is we are still separate sovereign states when it could have been better. Maybe one border around us all, identifying us as one people, might have given us a little tangier taste to our Caribbeanness.
Rehearsals continued daily for the various productions being staged by the St. Lucian talent at CariFesta, including A Little Folktale, written by Monique Auguste and Jessie Myers, and directed by Drania Frederick, and Silent Scars, written and directed by Hayden Ford. Minister with responsibility for culture and the creative industries, Fortuna Belrose, who was also in Trinidad and Tobago for CariFesta 14, has been visiting cast members at rehearsals. Also joining the delegation is Executive Director of the Cultural Development Foundation, CDF, Ramona Henry Wine. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
Meanwhile, the St. Lucia CariFesta Roadshow was taken to San Fernando on Monday, where an appreciative audience got to experience the varied talent and creativity of St. Lucian dancers and musicians. In this report, we go behind the scenes with director Drania Frederick as the cast prepares to perform at the Naparima Bowl in San Fernando.
Today, we're at Naparima Bowl and we're doing the first set of our contemporary pieces, which we call Oceans Crossing, Journey of One, and Riptide, which is based on the transatlantic slave period.
The St. Lucia CariFesta 14 delegation traveled an hour and a half to San Fernando on the island's west coast to tell the story of a people's resilience after the atrocities of slavery.
It's a piece that we have taken from St. Lucia's story and adapted it, where the slaves are rising out of the sand under the sea, and they're going on this journey to reach the New World, and it's a piece of triumph.
Traveling and performing in another Caribbean island has been an enriching experience. Performers have had to adapt as they travel to different venues, each unique in its own way.
Right now we're putting on our makeup, and the dancers are sort of doing a memory exercise. We already did our technical rehearsals earlier. We had 20 minutes on stage, and I think that I must commend them. We had never performed in this space.
For St. Lucians, it is a learning experience, one they hope will energize a greater love for arts and culture in St. Lucia.
What we have discovered as we're going through Trinidad and performing at different places, that there is spaces to suit every performance. The theaters, and what is even more striking is the way that they take care of these institutions.
The St. Lucian cast is also inspired by the deep appreciation of audiences wherever they perform.
You can see this general love for the arts, and the audiences coming out to these performances. This is almost in the middle of the afternoon at 6 o'clock on a Monday, and the place is almost filled.
Team 758 has been giving its best, and this showed when they finally hit the stage in San Fernando. It was a moment that made all St. Lucians proud. On Tuesday, the cast hosted St. Lucia Night, and the big performance that everyone is talking about is slated for Friday. That is the staging of a little folk tale. 12 years running, Oktoberfest Aqueol has secured its place on the calendar of activities on island. The event has done so by delivering a unique experience to patrons. The launch of Oktoberfest took place on Wednesday, where various stakeholders praised the marrying of an international festival with local culture to bring about a uniquely St. Lucian event. Solange Alfred tells us more.
Known for the exceptional atmosphere and vibes which surrounds the celebration of Oktoberfest en Creole, the management and team of the affair has heaped praises on the blending of an international occurrence with a local flair. The event, which balances the tastes of well-crafted international beers alongside savory St. Lucian dishes, is a mainstay in the month of October. Providing insight into this year's event is Wynwood and Leeward Brewery brand manager Sylvester Henry. Henry says the event, scheduled for Sunday 6 October, will be held at Pigeon Island, consecrated as the home for the event.
Pigeon Island is a home of many festivals and many events, but none uniquely as Oktoberfest, as we do it every year. And for us, Oktoberfest is really the idea that we captured when we drew it 12 years ago, is to really excite our consumers, excite the market, and excite persons who love beer. And by doing that, year after year, we feature the bears, and the bears has always been the stars of the show. And we continue to do that year after year, and this is the 12th year. We hope to do that with a twist this year in a most unique way that we can only do as a brewery. And Rand sort of hinted it. We partnering with Antillia Brewing Company this year. They've been on board for the last few years, but this year we've really embraced them as partners, as a brother brewery, and developing the idea of what we call the Bears of St. Lucia concept, which I'll probably elaborate a little bit more.
Showing support for the event was the Folk Research Center, as the event formally marks the launch of Creole Heritage Month. New Executive Director of the FRC, Victor Louise, says the localization of the international event speaks volumes of the innovation present on island.
We're grateful that the flame still lives inside us and inside corporate entities like WLBL, who make it their duty to contribute to this flamboyant period of the St. Lucia calendar for Creole Heritage Month. Many argue that Oktoberfest Creole is not original to St. Lucia, and like Saucy said, it's not a secret. However, I think the way in which we have been able to take it and localize it and make it ours is surely testimony to our innovation as a people and the innovation of corporate communities and WLBL being a leader in that regard.
Henry would go on to unveil the bears to be featured at this year's showing of Oktoberfest en Creole.
We have kept the ever-popular Pabo bear from Suriname. I think it's a staple. It has become a staple where everyone grab it. It's the first bear to run out year after year. And we are surprised every year that persons really grab a 1 liter beer, share it among friends, or sometimes consume it by themselves. But we have kept that this year. We've brought in some new ones, and we try to do that every year. Uniquely new beers. We've gone to Germany again, but this time we left out Polaner Oktoberfest beer, and we brought something uniquely new called Polaner Munich Hell. A very strange name, and we've done some strange names in the past. We had a beer called Morsubut out of Belgium, and Morsubut is like die suddenly in French. So I think Polaner Munich Hell out of Germany is really a unique beer, and I'll go through what the beer is about and how does it taste in a few minutes. We've gone back to Mexico and we bought Tecate. Tecate is one of the biggest brands in Mexico after Dos Equis. It's available in the US. It's a really international beer, and it's really a lovely beer that we want to introduce to Oktoberfest. We came in closer this year. We went to Bahamas and we brought in Kerlik beer. Kerlik is really a national beer of Bahamas, a really hero pride of Bahamas, and we're happy to be able to feature that beer this year. We went to Haiti, our sister in the Creole language, and we got their national beer, which is called Prestige. And Prestige is a wonderful beer brewed in Haiti. It's really a national icon. It's a hero in Haiti. It's the biggest beer in Haiti. It's found in every nook and cranny in Haiti. And we're happy to be able to feature that beer this year.
The 5-bear lineup, Sylvester says, is a step away from the usual 11-bear showcase. However, he notes, in an effort to revolutionize the event, a partnership with Antillery Brewery will bring about the brewing of uniquely St. Lucian beers, which will feature prominently at this year's edition of Oktoberfest, Quayle. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
Thank you very much, Solange. This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Tennyson Glasgow is up next with the sports news.